Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Buckle up for this show because Dr. St. Anthony Fauci of DCC had a lot to say yesterday. And you're going to love it. You're just going to love it. We'll get to that and a lot more coming up in 60 seconds. If you like a good snack throughout the day, but you don't want to pack on the pounds by snacking all the time, well, there's Built Bar. Built Bars are delicious. There's the Built Bars. There's also the Built Puffs that are even lighter and just as delicious. I love these things. Yep. They are really good. They come in raspberry and a caramel nut one I have here. What do they call it?
A cheesecake? Is that the lot?
Apple almond crisp.
Oh, wow.
That's really good. You want to try that one?
Well, I mean,
might as
sure.
well.
Thank you.
And so you'll find a flavor that you love the most, but they're all really, really good. You can get a mix box if you want to try two of each flavor out, and they're actually good for you. They've got 18 grams of protein, 180 calories or less, 4 to 5 grams of sugar, 4 to 5 grams of net carbs, and just delicious. So, Built Bar, this can curb your hunger pangs throughout the course of your working day. Go to Built.com, use the promo code PAT15 to get 15% off your first order. Promo code PAT15 for 15% off at Built.com.
Mr. Cratchit.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
I like this meme. The recommendations from Dr. Fauci have changed on a regular basis from the beginning. This is kind of like what it looks like as it represented in a meme here.
Oh, the kid playing
this
Uno?
kid playing Uno, showing his card. I'm about to win this thing.
Got his final booster. He's ready to lay down that last Uno card.
Your final booster. Nope. Dr. Fauci's got number 3, number 4, number 5, he's got 2 through 4 actually. But
I don't think that's what matters. What matters is he's got these cards that are going to make that kid draw 4 more or 2 more, 4 more. That's right.
And he's going to wind up with the 4th booster and the 5th booster and the 6th booster.
It's a game that you can't win. Right. Okay? Don't play it. That's my professional advice.
And so far, none of us in this room have.
No, I would say that you're never going to make them happy.
That's for sure.
With your vax status, as we will learn today.
Fauci is now discussing what the term fully vaccinated really means. He was on CNN yesterday to talk about that.
Clarification.
Pfizer's chief scientific officer said this morning on CNN that he thinks fully vaccinated against Omicron, it means 3 doses. So do you think the definition of fully vaccinated should now change?
Well, it as you say, it's a technical, almost semantic definition, and it is the definition for requirements. If someone says, are you fully vaccinated to be able to attend class in a university or a college or be able to work in a workplace? Right now, Kate, I don't see that changing tomorrow or next week. Mm-hmm. But certainly, if you want to talk about what optimal protection is, I don't think anybody would argue that optimal protection is going to be with a 3rd shot. Whether or not it officially gets changed in the definition, I think that's going to be considered literally on a daily basis.
He always does this, Pat, where he says, look, I don't see it right now. Give it 2 weeks. Give it less than 2 weeks. And he will say, yeah, you know what? We've looked at the science, and we're going to have to reassess 3 shots to be fully vaccinated.
And, of course, don't forget, I am science.
That's right.
Don't forget that over there. So, yeah. It's coming. You know it's coming.
Yeah, he's like, don't get ahead of us here, okay? I mean, we've got our whiteboard in the basement of the CDC.
Yeah, don't get me to say things ahead of time. It's not time to say it yet. People don't want to hear it yet. Well, they're not going to want to hear it in 2 weeks either, but we'll just give them time. Give them a little bit of time.
Yeah, let me check my inbox later for my email from George Soros, and then I'll get back to you.
Right. And then I can tell them, oh, by the way, now we got the science. Now all the data is coming over there. Uh-huh. Okay. No surprise here. The CEO of BioNTech has a similar opinion on that.
Oh.
Now, I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that they're benefiting from this, that Pfizer's making
Now, why would you be a cynic, sir?
tens of billions of dollars on this. No, it's got nothing. That's what I'm saying. It's got nothing to do with that.
Come on now.
Nothing to do with that. Here he is.
Yeah, particularly with the data now coming for the Omicron variant, it is very clear this our vaccine for the Omicron variant should be a 3-dose vaccine.
3-dose
vaccine.
So up to 3.
Okay.
Can I get you into a 4th?
They will. They'll try to, at least. He had a little bit more to say about it, too.
Would you take a 3rd booster shot now or wait for the Omicron-specific vaccine?
So the answer for that is, in our eyes, very clear. So the data that we have clearly indicates the value of a 3rd dose. Yeah, and we should be really clear about that an Omicron vaccine, even if we start supply in March, will not be broadly available. We will start with the first 25, 50, maybe 75 million doses. But the best would be to ensure better protection is to have a booster shot.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I was looking up this Uyghur Sahin, whatever. What was he saying about 75 million doses? Was he talking about that's how many you're going to need to be considered fully vaxxed, or was he talking about around the world? I totally...
No, that's how many you need
that's what
to
I
be
figured.
fully vaxxed, yeah. At 75 million, they'll probably say, okay.
All right, you're caught up.
Now you're caught up. You're fully dosed. You're fully vaccinated. Congratulations with just 75 million doses. That's not bad.
This is my 75th million booster.
Yeah.
Am I good to enter the campus now?
Yeah, sure.
Golly. Yeah, and I got to tell you, it doesn't help their cause with the German accent and all this stuff.
No, it doesn't. It makes it even more chilling. Senate passed a resolution yesterday to repeal Biden's vaccination or testing mandate for private sector employees.
Okay, so we had the court case go in our favor, and now we've got the Senate doing the same.
Right. In a vote that was passed 52-48. So it wasn't just Republicans, although every Republican voted for it. There were a couple of Democrats that crossed the aisle. John Tester of Montana. Congratulations.
All right.
Thank you, John. And Joe Manchin of West Virginia.
Okay. Oh, we lost Cinema, huh?
So where was Cinema on this thing?
Okay. She's more fiscal, I guess.
I'm not crazy about mandates, Tester said before the vote. He said later that the federal requirements were burdensome regulations. Yeah, not to mention unconstitutional. Let's throw that in as well. They can't force us to do this. Mike Braun from Indiana, who introduced the resolution, argued that Biden had no authority to impose the requirements, and that's exactly right. Bipartisan vote is a crystal clear message to the White House. Back off and stop this crazy federal overreach immediately. And I'm sure he'll get the message and do just that. Don't you think? Don't you think?
Sure.
Joe will just, okay, Tester told me to stop this. Okay, you're right. Not in a million years. Yeah. Not in a million or a billion years.
He, too, Joe Biden, has to get back to you after he checks his inbox for whatever's come in overnight from George Soros.
Yeah. Plus, there's scientific consensus, Keith. There's total consensus.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, then I should shut my mouth.
Well, other than, there's a few scientists who are calling for an end to the mass vaccination thing.
Right, a few.
But just a few, some couple of stragglers out there. Just 60,000 of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's just 60,000. How many scientists are there around here? 62,000, something like that. How many can there be? But they're against using the mRNA injections for mass vaccination. 60,000 doctors taking this stand. It's called the Great Barrington Declaration. And these 60,000 physicians and scientists signed it. And it's, I guess, starting to become pretty well known around the world.
Yeah, they're against the mass vaccination through mRNA technology. And the problem is you might have 60,000 doctors, but none of them are, quote, science. That's just the one guy.
Right.
And he has the trump card. So if Dr. Fauci is in one of the signatories.
He's not.
Yeah, okay,
and he is science, as you mentioned.
So this is meaningless.
This reminds me of the consensus on global warming. Mm-hmm. With at one point it was 30,000. I think it's more like 50 or 60 or 70,000 scientists, climate scientists, who are saying, no, we're not on board with. Has there been warming? A lot of them said yes, there has, but that doesn't mean it's man-caused, or the vast majority of it is man-caused. So it's a lot like that. And now here we got 60,000 more physicians and scientists signing on to something and saying, look, you're going way too far. We shouldn't be doing this.
So if we're to follow the science, that doesn't mean that science.
No,
that means the science, which is
Fauci. Okay. Yeah, Fauci. So don't get confused with that. Yeah, I'm because I could see where that would be confusing.
Yeah,
you got 60,000 scientists as opposed to one guy, but that guy happens to be science. Mm-hmm. So what do you do? What do you do? Well, you have to go with science. Mm-hmm. The world is pushing back on this vaccine mandate stuff. Here's a poll that speaks to that.
I love this.
And it was a poll that was done by Good Morning Britain.
Okay.
I think is that the show that Piers Morgan used to be on? And
I thought so too.
I think it is.
That's what I was thinking about.
They put up a poll with Omicron cases doubling every 2 days. Is it time to make vaccines mandatory?
Uh-oh.
So, of course, they phrased it in such a way that you're pushed into yes.
You're scared, right?
And yet, no wins this poll 89 to 11%.
Yeah, I don't know if I sent the image in, but what happened was
that's based on 45,000 votes. So it's not like 10 people voted.
So over 45,000 people voted. Then Good Morning Britain realized that the poll wasn't going their way. They were losing 89 to 11.
And they pulled it down.
And they pulled it down off the interwebs.
That's amazing. Jeez.
Ta-da!
Deleted the tweet and probably never mentioned it on the air.
Oh, sure.
89 to 11%. No, it's not time to make vaccines mandatory. Huh. Well, these people just need to be re-educated. We need to get them more information from the man who is science.
Oh, yeah, we got to go back to Mr. Science.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What, did he weigh in on something else?
He says what you may think about vaccines, that shouldn't matter at all.
What now?
So,
okay, what do we
got? Here's what he had to
say.
In
New York, we're seeing the mayor introduce a vaccine mandate, the first of its kind for the private sector. Is this the kind of mitigation tool that you see in our future, in your professional opinion?
Francis, no one likes to be mandating for people to do things that they might be hesitant to do.
Right. Pause it for a second. Okay, well, if you don't like it, then we should be able to accept it. He doesn't like doing this, Keith. I don't know if Hitler liked to be rounding up Jews. I don't know if he liked that. He just thought it was necessary to do it. What dangerous rhetoric that is.
Totally. I mean, this guy.
He is a fascist.
How long is this delay button that you've got in there, Corby, today? 90 minutes? Cool. That might be long enough for a rant from me.
Uh-huh.
This guy, he was making the rounds yesterday, and this clip here, in my opinion, isn't the most inflammatory one you're going to hear today from this guy.
Mm-hmm. But let's hear the rest of it.
But quite frankly, you have to, when you're in the middle of what we call a historic experience.
Wait, pause it.
Of the worst.
Pause that. I'm sorry. This was a great observation by a member of your audience. I'm trying to give him credit here, but he tagged me yesterday when I posted this video. And it was, let's see. You guys got to fix your Twitter handles. Make them easier to say. 7951BC. He says, notice that he says, what we call a global pandemic. Yeah. You've termed it that. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that it necessarily is. I thought that was a great point by this guy.
Yeah, it is. Let's see the rest.
Of the worst pandemic of a respiratory disease in the last 100 years. We have to put the communal responsibility ahead of individual preferences. So although no one, myself included, likes to be told what you have to do, sometimes if you don't come to the realization that it is good for yourself, for your family, and for the communal good, then mandates or requirements become necessary.
Wow. This guy is a fascist through and through. Sometimes you don't like it, That's tough. We know better than you do.
Yep.
We know what's good for you and for everybody else, so you're going to do it. Sometimes, and I love how he says the communal good outweighs the individual preference.
Right.
It's not a preference, douchebag.
No.
It is a right.
Yeah. Freedom is now an individual preference.
Look at how he spins this thing and sets up these straw man arguments that, I'm sorry, I don't know. Your premise is all faulty. These are not preferences. These are constitutional rights, a-hole.
Yeah.
And we don't we don't break those for anything.
Right.
You can't take them away from us. They come from God, not from Dr. Anthony Fauci and not from Joseph Robinette Biden.
So wait, in the Constitution, it doesn't say unless there's a pandemic.
No,
unless
it does
there's
not.
What they call a pandemic.
Or an emergency of any kind. No.
Again, how long is that delay again, Corby? We're running 90 minutes. Okay, that's good. That still may not be enough. I would like to point out that you warned your audience when the show began to buckle up. Mm-hmm. And I would also like to remind them that clip, still not the most inflammatory thing that I think the man said yesterday.
Well, that was pretty inflammatory.
Yeah, just wait. Now we're going to get threatened.
Let me tell you about real estate agents I trust, because these are people you need when you're trying to sell your house, the most important investment you've made in your life probably, or buy one. Each of them are huge decisions, life-changing decisions. You want to be in the right neighborhood. You want to be in the right school district. All of those things factor in, and that's why you need a really good realtor who knows the market and has been successful in that market. And these are agents who have been. This is Glenn's company, and so his team has vetted these agents really carefully to make sure that they're going to be the best and do the best job for you. And they're fans of the show, so you're going to have a lot in common with them when you're driving around looking at houses or inviting them over to advise you on certain things to sell your home.
How about that Build Back Better? That's good stuff, right?
Yeah, you're not going to. No.
Not going to hear that from your real estate agent?
Individual preference? I was listening to Anthony Fauci yesterday, and he was telling me about individual preferences.
Huh.
Don't you agree?
Yeah.
It's for the societal good that we all get vaccinated. Yeah, you're not going to hear that from your realtor. Real estate agents I trust. The name says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
I will keep my promise. I will live in the past, present, and the future. The spirits of all three will strive within me. Oh, heaven and Christmas time be praised for this. I say this on my knees, Jacob Marley. On my knees.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
I'm telling you, Fauci's ego knows no bounds. He was everywhere yesterday because he loves the attention.
The hits just kept coming yesterday with this guy.
Just amazing. Listen to this on MSNBC. He's talking to I don't know what's her face.
Oh, is it Andrea Mitchell?
Yes.
Okay.
There's so much opposition now in Congress, and of course the states, even in Democratic states, Governor Whitmer in Michigan and other places. This is becoming just a political test, and the outlook is not at all a sure thing in the court system. Is there any thought of backing off of that and
mandates?
Trying to avoid, all the outcry against it?
Yeah,
good job.
Andrew, we really have to get
Pause it for a
Good
second.
job, Andrea. You're a pro.
Good job. Yeah, that was great.
That was
right?
good. So, what do you do? Do you like stuff?
Polls.
Political, right? What do you think of that? Political.
I love it. All right, let's see what he had to say about it.
Thought of backing off of that and trying to avoid
stuff.
Things.
All the outcry against it.
Right.
Yeah, but Andrew, we really have to get people vaccinated. I mean, I understand, and we all understand how people do not like to be told what to do. They want to make their own choice and their own free will. I get that, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm. Not
these
at
are
all do
unusual
you respect
times.
that.
And you can't think only of yourself and your own personal opinion, but you've got to think about your communal responsibility to get yourself and your family and indirectly then the community protected. So I would prefer, and we all would prefer, that people would be voluntarily
Pause
getting
it for
vaccinated.
a second. He's already said not to give a rat's ass about your personal preference. He would prefer that we do that. Well, so what? I'm sorry. Your preference is swallowed up in my refusal.
Yeah, now listen to what he's about to
Love
say.
it.
I would prefer that people, and what did he just say? I would prefer, we would prefer that people do this voluntarily, but ellipsis what?
But we're going to have to, here it is.
But if they're not going to do that, sometimes you've got to do things that are unpopular, but that clearly supersede individual choices and are directed predominantly at the communal good. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about requirements.
Spoken like a true communist. That's great. That's perfect.
I don't like that guy.
Oh,
like,
my
I
gosh.
really just...
He has no concept of the individual rights that come from the U.S. Constitution.
So what
He's got no concept of it.
if we don't voluntarily submit,
Then we're forced.
Doctor?
Then you're forced.
So you're going to hold me down? It wouldn't be the first
If
time
necessary, yeah.
that Dr. Fauci has been associated with holding down people while injecting them, but I digress. What?
No.
That's interesting. That's what we call foreshadowing.
Yeah, and then he goes on another show on another network. I think this isn't MSNBC here, is it? This is,
let's see. Where does he go here?
Is
I
this
don't know,
news this is
Who knows? He was everywhere. Washington Post show.
Here's another one.
I'm hearing from so many vaccinated people who feel as if, there may be some personal rewards for getting vaccinated, but they still face all these restrictions and measures.
Well, yes, that is just the reality of the situation. I mean, one thing that vaccinated people can feel comfortable, for example, let's take the holiday setting. You're with your family, you have grandparents and parents and children. When you get vaccinated and you have a vaccinated group and you are in an indoor setting, you can enjoy, as we have traditionally over the years, dinners and gatherings within the home with people who are vaccinated. And that's the reason why people should, if they invite people over their home, essentially ask and maybe require that people show evidence that they are vaccinated.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to require all of my family members to show proof of vaccination before they enter my door.
But wait, doctor, are you talking about 1 dose or 9 doses? Like, what is fully vaccinated? Earlier today, you were still debating what that term should be. I mean, bro.
Plus,
go away.
It's 75 million doses,
right? 75 million doses.
75 million doses. Because you thought he was just talking about the entire country.
Yeah.
No. That's just for you as an individual to be fully vaccinated.
Right.
You're going to need 75 million doses.
That's going to suck when you show up for your first day of college.
Well,
and
what
like, oh, crap, you only have 74,999.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh.
You can't come in. Ah, darn it. Maybe take online courses for a while. Plus, your arm's going to be a little sore.
It's for the great. It's for the
greater good.
For the communal good. Ugh. That dude. How much is this going to be on YouTube today? Like 3 seconds? Like Pat saying, "Hey, welcome to Pat Gray Unleashed."
Well, I'm sorry. This is just constitutional stuff.
I know. But we don't live in a constitutional republic anymore.
I mean, does YouTube not recognize the United States Constitution? Because we have rights, not preferences, when it comes to this. The government can't force us to do things like this.
Yeah.
They can't. They're prohibited by the Constitution. And the Constitution was written that way on purpose to be a charter of negative liberties. So instead of trying to outline all of our God-given rights, which is impossible to do, so they didn't do it. What they did was they said what the government couldn't do to us. And this is one of those things. This is something you legally, constitutionally can't do. Now, it hasn't gone through the court system to solidify that right, but eventually it will. If they keep going down this road, people are going to get fed up, and they're just going to take this all the way to the Supreme Court if they have to.
Yeah, the victories are coming slowly but surely through the courts, right?
Well, they are,
Yeah.
Thank goodness there's a lot of Trump appointees. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
He went and filled a bunch of judgeships.
And remember, if it's not listed in the Constitution, that's where the 10th
That's where the states come in.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard, Doc. I'm sorry.
It's really not that tough. It really isn't.
But no, I hear threats in what he's saying. And, I mean, what's the next step, honestly? I'm afraid to ask.
Well, you could tell this guy, he doesn't have any qualms about it. This guy would send people to your home to force you to be vaccinated, to hold you down if necessary, or to take you in and put you in jail if you won't.
Yeah. And if you don't think, like I said earlier, I mean, just look up some of the experiments that have been done in the name of science on children, on orphans in New York City with AIDS drugs. Look it up. Good times.
And see who also might have been
associated with holding people down while they took the drugs?
Associated with that particular instance.
Huh.
Yeah.
Look that up.
See if you recognize him. The name. There might be a name there.
I swear, man. Well, honestly, I sit here sometimes when we're playing these clips or you're doing a monologue or something like that, and I just think, when we're sitting here, like, what's today's date? December 9th?
Mm-hmm.
If we're sitting here December 9th, 2022, seriously, if we are, right, if we're allowed to continue to speak, like, what are the topics going to be then? I mean, this is madness, because a year ago, we didn't have the vaccines yet, and now that's how you continue your livelihood, continue to pay your bills and your mortgage in many cases, if you have this vaccine that didn't exist a year ago. So a year from now, what is going to be the topic of the day? Oh my gosh.
How hard it is to do the show from prison.
Right. It's like, they're in Sector 11 right now, so we're going to keep broadcasting, try to get you up till Christmas time, but we don't know if we're going to be able to hold them off that long.
Right.
I mean, seriously,
I know.
I don't joke.
This is no joke. I'm not joking. No joke. Joe Biden, speaking of that particular voice, signed an executive order yesterday directing the federal government to get net zero emissions by 2050.
Oh, that'll save us.
Using the power of the federal purse to buy clean energy, purchase electric vehicles, and make federal buildings more energy efficient. Remember the plan that they had at one point to paint every rooftop in America white?
That's right.
Remember that?
And it'd be really good if we painted every roof white.
Wow. Write that down. Corby, write that one down.
That's a powerful, powerful idea. Thank you for that. That'll cool things down.
Help us.
The executive order represents something significant the administration can do on its own to meet the president's ambitious climate goals. As his climate and economic package is negotiated in Congress, federal government maintains, 300,000 buildings?
Yeah, right? That
300,000.
Everything you need to know about the federal government.
What is the federal government doing with 300,000 buildings?
Now,
I could see 300. There's 300 federal buildings. Okay. 300,000? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop there. They also drive 600,000 cars and trucks in its vehicle fleet, and of course spend hundreds of billions of dollars each year. That is amazing. Wow. So this order would set several interim targets. It asks for a 65% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, 100% clean electricity by 2030.
Oh, we're good.
Directs the federal government to purchase only zero emissions light duty vehicles by 2027. Okay, yeah. They'll be able to do that.
This is just a bunch of stupid crap, is all it is.
Yep. And all government vehicles must be zero emissions by 2035. Okay, good luck with that. Seriously, good luck. Have you seen what the 300,000 buildings are in use for?
No, what I was looking up. No, I was looking up, and I can't find this, and I don't want to say it if it's wrong, but here I go. Before the Civil War, I read somewhere like the federal government, all the employees could fit in one building.
Oh, I bet that's true.
And then after that, it was game over.
I bet that's true.
Yeah.
Some tweets here from Omicron, Lord of the Dementiacons.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
Already exists. That's great. I'm fully vaxxed. I got all the childhood vaccines that I was supposed to be given. I ain't getting any more. So I hereby declare myself fully vaxxed. Then there's, of course, you can identify as being fully vaxxed, which
true.
that's kind of where I am right now. I'm not sure if I'm caught up on all my childhood vaccines. I think so.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, wait, you just said yesterday you were like 12 last month or something.
Right.
So you probably have a few more to go.
It might be.
On the old schedule.
It's possible, yeah. I've had doctors ask me, though, just in the last few years,
Are you caught up on your tetanus?
Well, let's see. If by caught up, you mean, did I get the shot when I was like 4? Yes. Yes. So,
yeah,
I guess.
And I cut open my hands often enough that I know I'm up to date on my tetanus shots.
So have you gotten one as an adult?
Yeah.
One that you remember?
October of 2017, was it?
Okay.
Whenever I tried to saw my fingers off with the hedge trimmer.
Yeah, and so they gave you a tetanus shot
then?
then?
Last 7 years? Yeah, because the nurse, when I was just bleeding out there, he said, when was your last tetanus shot? I was like, he's like, well, the answer is today.
DMXDM tweets, Fauci is setting up a new plan through optimal protection. It's the new term for lockdowns, closures, re-education camps, and whatever else they want to do to control us. Pat's Pitt tweets, the third booster was released well before the discovery of the heavily mutated Omicron.
Yeah.
Omicron.
You know what?
Omicron. I hear it pronounced every different way.
It means so little to me that I haven't even applied it to memory.
Especially since there's not one single death from the Omicron thing. Not one death worldwide. Why? Because it's really a mild strain. That's why.
Just think of how many babies have been terminated in the womb. Here. I'm trying to think of who sent us the graph. Was it Pastor Sam sent us this graph of all the deaths? You'd like similar freak out of that.
Yeah.
Abortion.
Yes, you would.
As opposed to this. Do we have that graph in there, Rob? I mean, it is stunning, and it's a pie chart. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the red is Roe versus Wade. Since that happened, 73?
Mm-hmm.
So 50 years ago. Those are the deaths compared to the Civil War, World War II, World War I, and so on. All the wars we fought as the United States.
Oh,
and yet we're supposed to freak out about the variant that makes you tired and makes you want to go to bed.
Yeah.
But not similar outrage for that's not fair to say. Half of Americans, I guess, are outraged by a chart like that.
Yeah, and there was somebody just brought up that there have been more deaths so far due to COVID-19 than all U.S. wars combined. Well, okay. There have been a lot more people who have had COVID-19 as well. There's 49 to 50 million Americans who have been infected with COVID-19, and a small percentage of those did die. Yes, 787 now?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got to understand this, Pat. I mean, it's everywhere. It'll kill you if you're riding a motorcycle.
Yeah,
and you crash,
and
that's
you die. True too. I mean, how much have they inflated that number?
Yeah,
probably by a lot, but it's still like 0.0002 of all people who have been infected by it. You can't say the same thing for the military, although that number is fairly small as well in deaths as opposed to who participated in it. But how many people have participated in the U.S. military, in armed service, in conflicts, in wars? 20 million Americans? 25 million? Half of those who have been infected by this virus. But they don't want to add any context to it. They just want to scare the crap out of you and say, okay, you must get your vaccines.
Yeah.
You must get your booster shot, then your next booster shot, and so on.
Yeah, the combat fatality rate, World War II, is 5% from what I'm reading here.
Geez, 5%. That's a lot higher.
Right.
That's a lot higher. All right. And Pat's Pitt continued, how is it even possible that the third booster can fight off a virus it wasn't even designed to prevent? Carl Smith tweets, Dr. Fauci's definition of fully vaccinated. Kate, get this straight. It's really just whatever I say it is at any given time.
That's true. That last tweet before that, though, that's absolutely right. I mean, they released this thing, then they say, oh, yeah, it helps against the variant, so that's why you should take it. Well, did you know that when it came out? No, because the variant apparently didn't exist before then. Wow. You trust that science, though, y'all.
Well, and he was asked about whether or not... Didn't one of the British people ask him... whether this third booster will protect even before we get a specific vaccine for the Omicron variant. Wasn't that sort of asked? It seems like some variation of that that thought process.
The
like
CEO?
they're working. Yeah, the CEO of. Can we go back and play the CEO
First
of
clip or second clip?
Pfizer?
A longer one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's listen to that. The 75
Would you
minutes?
take a third booster shot now
Yes,
or
here it
wait
is.
for the Omicron-specific vaccine?
Pause it. Okay, so there it is.
There you
or
go.
wait for the Omicron-specific vaccine.
Uh-huh.
So are they developing? And he doesn't blink or say, well, wait, what do you mean the Omicron-specific? He answers the question. Let's see what he says.
So the answer for that is in our eyes very clear. So the data that we have clearly indicates the value of a third dose. Yeah.
Okay.
And,
so he says no. You can go ahead and get the third dose.
Clear about
all right,
that,
I got it.
An Omicron vaccine.
Third dose, but they're he was just going to go Omicron specific.
Mm-hmm.
And are they saying Omicron? I think they are.
I don't care.
I think they are. Anyway, play the rest of this.
Really clear about that an Omicron vaccine, even if we start supply in March, will not be broadly available. We will start with the first 25, 50, maybe 75 million doses. But the best would to ensure better protection is to have a booster shot.
Get the booster shot. Okay. So he didn't say they weren't working on an Omicron-specific vaccine, but he said the booster's fine. So I don't know. Maybe they're not working on a specific one for that.
How long was that clip? That clip was, I don't know, about a minute or so. Yeah, so he could have really cut that down if he had just said, look, my shareholders say take the shot. I don't care what the rest of the question is. Just take the shot.
Look, we're making a lot of money off this. Billions and billions of dollars.
Take the shot.
Just get the shot.
Get the shot.
All right?
Stop asking questions.
Get the shot and shut up.
What, do you hate science or something? What's your problem here?
Go talk to Fauci about it. He'll tell you. All right. Let me tell you about Preborn. Abortion is the leading cause of death in the United States. As much as we talk about COVID-19, that's not the leading cause. Abortion is. Worldwide. Nearly 1 in 4 pregnancies end in abortion. So it's time to do something about it. The Ministry of Preborn is partnering with the Blaze Media to rescue 10,000 babies by the end of this year. Please help us do that. Could there be a more important work right now? Preborn is the direct competition to Planned Parenthood and the largest provider of free ultrasounds in the United States. It's really important because a lot of times the women wouldn't pay to see an ultrasound. They just want to go get the abortion. But when you show them the ultrasound, in 80% of the cases, it changes their mind and they choose life. Preborn, this is an awesome organization. They partner with clinics in the highest abortion rate cities and regions. And they've got a passion to save babies. Help us rescue 10,000 babies' lives. To donate, dial pound 250, say the keyword baby. Or I think you can type it in, can't you?
I don't know.
I don't know. We tried it yesterday and we had a hard time. That's pound 250, keyword baby. Or if that doesn't work out for you, go to preborn.com, Preborn, preborn.com/Pat.
What happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right. Some other things going on in the world. The Jussie Smollett trial.
All right.
Some fun going on there. Jussie Smollett got testy as he was grilled on Instagram messages with the alleged attacker. So So former Empire star Jussie Smollett got combative as he finished testifying Tuesday in his alleged bogus race hate case, which was headed for closing arguments and potential jury deliberations.
Yeah, they're deliberating now. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That went pretty fast, didn't it? Prosecution finished its cross-examination after grilling the embattled Snippy actor on the stand for another 2.5 hours following his previous 5 hours of testimony the day before. That has to be grueling. He's 39 now. He lost his cool. He got testy when questioned by Special Prosecutor Dan Webb about some private messages on Instagram with Bola Osendero, one of the two brothers he allegedly paid, and I think the one he was having an affair with or whatever, right? Weren't they?
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a thing.
Oh, that's the first thing I've heard of that.
They got a thing going on.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. You didn't know about that?
I have not heard that one time.
Yeah, they were conducting a little business. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. Multiple times, apparently. Prosecutors claimed Smollett was alerting Osendero that the actor's plane would be late getting into Chicago from New York City so that the siblings could better time out the attack.
You don't want them standing out in negative 20 degrees all
when
night.
it's 20 below, you don't want to have to wait to have them attack you. You want to say, hey, look, just stay home where my plane's a little late. I won't be there till about 2 in the morning when it's going to be damn cold.
Yeah, but I hear there's a Subway nearby you can stay warm in.
Yeah, right.
Subway's sandwich shop.
The defense says it was simply a case of Smollett letting his workout partner know he'd be tardy for their session.
Workout partner.
Smollett became furious when Webb read aloud one of the actor's messages that included the N-word, and he didn't try to censor it for the court. Okay, I'm reading what you wrote, a-hole. I'm reading what you wrote.
I mean, if you
and I'm not going to use baby talk like the N-word in a court of law.
Right, this is in the record of the court case.
Right.
If there's ever a place to use it in context.
That's it.
What was the other thing he said? He blamed white people because it was, what was it, to protect?
Oh, I love this.
This is what I can't.
I love this. Because they asked him, why did you identify your attackers as white?
Because I thought it made the story more believable.
Wait. What?
The story.
What?
Oh, I love this meme.
Well, that's exactly right though. He just told the truth.
Yeah. How much you like that meme, Pat?
Everyone makes mistakes. Don't beat yourself up. Jussie Smollett. That's great.
So
that's
so the jury has the case. I guess we could get
a verdict back today.
Soon.
I mean, if they have any brains in their heads, they're going to come back with a guilty verdict, and we'll move on with our lives.
But maybe they're going to drag it out because they just love that $5 a day they get serving the people.
Well, not a full
jury.
$5.
Oh, it's
Please
not
tell
quite?
me it's not that much, because that's.
Wonder
way
what it
too
is
much.
in the state of Illinois. Because isn't it like $5 here in Texas?
I think it's 18.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think you get $18 a day. Yeah, tell me you don't want to serve on a jury right now, huh? Tell me. It's about 3 cents an hour. That's not bad.
Believe that the first thing I do when I move to a state, and I've lived in many, is I register to vote. I have never once been called to jury duty.
Really?
Not once. Texas, New Jersey, backtrack, South Carolina, Nebraska, Texas before, Georgia. Never.
Better knock on wood on that. That'll be about the time they come calling.
Once they find out what I do for a living, you think they're going to let me sit on that jury?
I don't know.
Oh, look at that. Alabama pays you $40 a day.
Oh, wow.
Let's just scroll here. Let's see. I can't
practically get rich on a 2-week trial.
Let's see. Texas is $6 a day, Pat. I don't know what.
Oh, it is $6 a day.
Cartel.
Wow, it's 1/3 of the price I thought it was.
Let's see.
Jeez.
Illinois is. Oh gosh, Illinois is 0. Illinois is the only state, and South Carolina.
They pay you nothing.
And the most I'm seeing is $40. Why? Oh, 50 in South Dakota. $50 a day. I think that's your in Massachusetts, $50 a day. Huh. And Georgia, $50. In Connecticut, Colorado, Arkansas. Looks like a lot of states do $50.
So in this exchange, the prosecutor says, "Sir, No, Smollett says to the prosecutor, "Sir, can you just spell out the word or not say it out of respect for every African American in this room?"
This guy sucks so much.
To his shame, Webb apologized. Ah! Why? It's your word, numbskull. I'm just quoting you. I'm quoting you.
This is like that rapper who has the N-word in his song and calls the white girl up on stage, and when she sings it back to him as he requested, he shames her publicly. Oh,
yes.
God.
I hate it so much. Webb apologized, and then, because Smollett wrote to Osendero, N-word, finally made it, just landed, haha.
Oh, that's like my text to you. I say, cracker. I just pulled up here.
Hey, out of respect.
Can you let me
for
in?
all the whiteys in this building and listening to this right now?
Yeah.
Could you just spell the word?
Do you remember that text I did send you on a Thursday morning saying I was locked out, and you responded on Sunday, "Still out there?" That's how often. And then he says, "Did you just text me this?" "No, you just turned on your phone, and it looks like I just texted it to you, bro. That was 72 hours ago. I was out in the cold."
So great.
Cracker.
I was glad to hear that you weren't still out there.
I wasn't still out there.
Yeah, I was relieved.
No, that was Thursday.
That would have been a while.
That's why the text.
Yeah, I know that's why.
I'm just telling the audience. I literally typed, "I'm sending this Thursday morning. I'm locked out of the building. I don't know when you'll see this, but I just wanted you to know it wasn't sent when you see it." Cracker.
So great. Plus, it's cracker, you know.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, I like
that's
proper
the
grammar.
Cool way to say it.
I like proper grammar. So, Jussie Smollett, what do we know what the maximum time he could serve is?
I'm not sure. Most people don't think he'll serve any jail time. So I don't think there's a lot of jail time at stake here. It might be a fine.
Up to 3 years.
Up to 3 years, but he's not going to.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised. We'll see. 888-900-3393. Welcome. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. We got to share this Hilary video with you. Hillary Clinton. This is incredible.
It's fun.
It is absolutely incredible. We'll get to that in about 60 seconds. Let me tell you about Keeps. If you're experiencing the male pattern baldness, receding hairline, Keith, you had both, I think. Receding hairline and male pattern baldness. Look at this, though, because that did not connect across his head like that at the top of his head.
Now it's just out of control, Pat.
This is growing like weeds. Your hair is growing like weeds.
Right.
You know what sucks is that hair starts growing in every place it shouldn't as you get older, except it doesn't grow where it should on your head. You got it growing out your ears, your nose, coming out your eyeballs, but it's not growing on my head anymore. Why?
Wait, you have hair growing out your
out of my eyeballs.
Eyeballs, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's irritating.
Yeah, I bet.
But there's something you could do about it.
Yes, there is.
And that's get Keeps. Like Keith did since March, right?
Yeah, so I started in March, and along about July, I noticed results.
The regrowth was coming in.
And then I
nice.
And I normally just shave it off. And so I was like, you know what? Let me let it grow so I can demonstrate. And ta-da!
That is really exciting.
It's pretty cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's awesome. So about 90% of the time, men experience hair loss stoppage with Keeps, and then 2/3 of the time, even some regrowth.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
And I was very doubtful. I thought I'm going to be the third that it doesn't work for a regrowth. No.
Nope.
I'm in the 2/3, baby.
That's awesome. So just go online. You do all this online. It's really simple. And then you can, if you run into any problems, they can help you 24/7. You can message your Keeps doctor. You can track your progress with their tracking tool. It's just fantastic. Go to keeps.com/Pat. KEEPS.com/Pat for 50% off your first order of hair loss treatment. That's keeps.com/Pat.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
Yeah, that's right, baby. So Hillary Clinton is doing a masterclass. Now, how much would you pay?
Oh, man.
How much would you pay for a Hillary Clinton masterclass?
Do I have a coupon?
No.
Oh, no.
No, they can't offer coupons with something this popular. Too many people are clamoring for the Hillary Clinton masterclass.
Hold on. When you said how much would you pay, I just had a flashback. Remember when Bill and Hillary did that little tour where they went and they talked to people and they couldn't give tickets away? And you would watch like StubHub or something and the ticket price would just be down to like
Didn't they wind up
$4
canceling most of that?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they did.
Yeah.
So anyway, she decided to do this really weird thing for her masterclass, and that was to read the 2016 acceptance speech she was going to give but wasn't able to.
On election night, right?
Because she didn't win the election. So, yeah, on election night, here's what she was going to read.
Didn't, as you know, write a concession speech because even though we had a lot of bumps those last 10 days.
Didn't write a concession speech.
I still thought, we could pull it out. So I worked on a speech that really was about my journey and had a real emphasis on my mother's life and journey as a way of, making it clear that, yes, I would be the first woman president, but I like everybody, stood on the shoulders and lived the lives and experiences of those who came before us. I think about my mother every day.
Okay.
Sometimes I think about her on that train. I wish I could walk down the aisle.
She's not crying for her mom. She's crying because she didn't win.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oh, look she can't even speak it.
Good.
So I wish I could walk down the aisle and find the little wooden seats where she sat.
Okay.
Holding tight to her even younger sister. Alone, terrified. She doesn't yet know how much she will suffer. She doesn't yet know she will find the strength to escape that suffering.
So powerful.
That is still a long way off.
Mm-hmm.
The whole future is still unknown. As she stares out at the vast country moving past her.
Right.
I dream of going up to her and sitting down next to her. Taking her in my arms and saying, look at me. Listen to me.
Freak her out.
You will survive.
Back to the Future.
You will have a good family of your own.
Okay, and then what?
And 3 children.
Okay. And 3 children.
And as hard as it might be to imagine.
What? Tell us.
Your daughter will grow up and become the President of the United States.
Except it didn't.
I am as sure of this as anything I have ever known. America is the greatest country in the world.
You still think that, Hillary?
And from tonight going forward, together, we will make America even greater than it has ever been. For each and every one of us.
Boy, that sucks for
Thank you. God bless you. And may God bless America.
Oh, wow. That was so
You moved?
So beautiful. She is such an unsympathetic character.
Mm-hmm.
She is so reprehensible.
Yes.
And I can't feel any sort of
She's not
sympathy
crying
there.
for her mom.
No, she's crying because
she's reading that
lost.
speech and she's
And
thinking
she never got to read it in real life.
Been saying this on election night.
This was mine. It was my legacy, and it was stolen from me by that orange man. That's what it's all about. She believed that was her position. She believed she was born to win the presidency, but she never did because we don't like her. And then, you got the Clinton death toll of what is it? Is it 160 or is it 420? I don't know. It depends on which website you look at.
And how many women did she drag through the mud?
Oh my gosh!
That accused her husband.
That isn't an urban legend. That is fact. She absolutely dragged those women through the mud. She absolutely lied about them and looked for things that she could stab them with.
Quote, vast right-wing conspiracy.
Yep. Ugh. She's despicable.
But man, we could have had her as president, and we missed out, and now we have to cry along with her.
Man, it hurts, doesn't it? Of course, who's worse, her or Biden? I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Anyway, so we missed out, and that's what we missed out on was Hillary Clinton and all of these court cases that are getting turned back by these Trump-appointed judges. Do you think a Hillary Clinton-appointed judge would be turning back these mandates on the vaccine? I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
So, just thank God for those 4 years.
Yeah. Another strong, powerful woman who also happens to be our vice president spoke out as well about a healthy economy and how it requires healthy mothers. And get this, healthy babies. Huh.
In fact, one estimate suggests that the direct and indirect costs of poor maternal health care could total more than $30 billion. $30 billion in a single year. By the same measure, we know that when we invest in women's health, when we invest in maternal health, economic productivity increases and socioeconomic outcomes improve. It is clear.
It is clear.
A healthy economy requires healthy mothers and healthy babies. I will repeat that.
Isn't that interesting? Repeat that.
Go
ahead.
Economy requires healthy mothers and healthy babies. And
not
that is
aborted
why
babies?
Today, on behalf of our administration,
how come you're so in favor of aborted babies?
I am issuing a nationwide call to action.
Here we go.
Okay.
To both the public and the private sector.
Yeah.
Through this call to action, federal agencies, businesses, and nonprofits will join together and will work together to solve this crisis.
Oh, good.
So today, to kick off this effort, our Department of Health and Human Services and Centers for Medicare and Medicaid are launching a new initiative to designate
to stop killing babies.
Birthing-friendly hospitals.
Birthing
So this is a
friendly?
brand new designation. And the first designation that rates a hospital based on the quality of its maternal health care.
Well, then stop funding the murdering of babies.
In addition, more than 20 companies and nonprofits have pledged to invest more than $20 million in maternal health efforts domestically and more than $150 million globally. They have pledged to invest in remote care monitors for rural communities, to invest in innovative care models for the postpartum period, to invest in education programs for maternal health providers, and so much more.
So she doesn't.
And we will
I got it. She doesn't seem to see the irony of this at all. A woman who fights tooth and nail to abort more children is talking about healthy babies. Why don't you give them a chance to be born and be healthy instead of killing them while they're in the womb, tearing them limb from limb while they're in the womb? Maybe you could promote healthy babies by stopping abortion on demand. How about that?
Yeah, I want to find out
that is really something.
How much money they're allocating to that. Because it feels like this is a Trojan horse, you ask me, but I don't know for a fact.
Very well could be. What was that chart that we showed a little earlier this morning from Pastor Sam that he sent us? The United States deaths due to Roe v. Wade. Look at that. Eclipsing the Civil War, World War II, World War I, Vietnam War, Korean War, War of Independence, War of 1812, Gulf War II, and Afghanistan combined. Look at how much those deaths eclipse all the wars that have ever been fought in this country. Jeez, I mean, that is... And so many of them. You know, how have they kept the black population rate at 13% for what? 70 years?
Yeah.
It's at 13%. It's been at 13%.
That's a great
decade
point.
After decade after decade. Meanwhile, the Hispanic population exploded here. It went from, 2% to what is it now? 20, 21, 22, 24? That's due to abortion, my friends. They're aborting black babies at a rate in New York City that exceeds the live births. It's real what's happening with black children. And then if you want that to stop, they call you the racist. I'm a racist because I want more black babies to be born? What?
Upside down world, man.
How does that work? Yeah, somebody's going to have to explain that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy! You got some splatter, Toto!
Yeah, I'd like to find out that number of what she's pushing there.
Yeah, I would too. We'll look for that and see about it. Meanwhile, let me tell you about a new documentary that you need to see called Enemies Within the Church. This is a film that the compromised evangelical establishment doesn't want you to see. How'd they get compromised? Well, through postmodernism. Postmodernism includes agendas commonly known by the terms social justice, intersectionality, critical race theory, and neo-Marxism. These are moving into the Christian church. This movie rocks that boat in a really good way. Presents the truth that's long needed to be told. They're not just in the other denomination down the street from you. This stuff is everywhere, taking over churches. This film will expose the bad ideas, but also the bad actors and the bad money. Christians need to see what's being done without their knowledge. Enemies Within the Church brings together Christian voices from across the nation and the world to share what they have seen. Every Christian and patriot needs to see this film and then share it with everyone you know. So I encourage you to buy the DVD or purchase the PPV streaming at enemieswithinthechurch.com. That's enemieswithinthechurch.com.
On the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. 888
That's good stuff.
Yeah, isn't it though?
What instrument were you imitating there?
I don't know.
Huh.
Whatever the music was, whatever they were playing during that little interlude.
Sound like a guitar
Stupid.
that was in distress.
Yeah, sort of. A lot of distortion on it and whatnot and so forth. Yesterday last night went to a little musical presentation with one of my grandsons, who's 12. And so it's on the other side of the Metroplex. It's an hour and a half drive in good traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Could be 2.5. But fortunately, the traffic wasn't that bad.
Oh, good.
So it was about an hour and a half drive there. They performed for 8 minutes. And then we're done. Okay.
Isn't that fun?
Thank you. See ya. I'm glad we drove 3 hours to see 8 minutes. Actually, I am. But it's like if I would have known that in advance.
Can we just zoom?
It's going to be an
these
8
things?
minute. How about you tape it and I'll see it later? How about that?
Right. Like, that's the one good thing about the COVID. You know, we invented Zoom. Apparently, can I just watch the concert that way?
But here you can't. They can't win because they give me the dance recital that was 16 and a half hours long.
Wait,
I complained about that. Or the musical little Christmas music that they played 2 songs and then sent us home.
That's a heck of a deal, though.
Yeah.
Because, hold on a second. You'd have to sit through other kids' crap?
No.
Okay, because my daughter, she was in a dance, a big production, right? And she did ballet for all of 4 minutes, like you said.
Yeah,
right?
and it's 3 hours to sit there, right?
Or
through other people's kids.
Or as I said at the time, if hell is an individualized experience, then I'll spend eternity on an empty stomach in a warm room while being forced to sit on a metal folding chair watching endless modern dance routines as great football games are being played just out of sight.
Right.
Purely hypothetical. But no, so my daughter did great at the ballet, but why do I have to sit there and watch weird zombie slow motion bull crap that you see on the streets of New York City that are funded by de Blasio?
I know. Yeah.
For 3 hours.
I know.
It's insanity.
It is.
What passes as art these days, I think you came out way ahead.
Way ahead.
The drive, though, is a little much.
Yeah, the drive was crazy. But as I assessed the day and thought, okay, that took us 3 hours round trip. But I'll take 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I'd rather sit in the car for 3 hours.
I'll take that over a 2-hour display of a bunch of people I don't know or care about.
Bunch of OPKs.
Yes.
Other people's kids.
Right.
I don't care. I'm sorry.
Care.
I'm sure if you're watching this show, your kids are adorable, talented, fun,
I just don't want to sit through their recitals.
I just don't care.
Call me hateful.
Sorry.
If you want.
they could just rotate families in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just keep playing, like an interlude.
Well, they kind of did because they had at least 3 bands because we came in on the tail end of one. So we got there right about 6 o'clock, and
that's how to do it.
At 6:03, they closed the curtain. See ya. I'm like, wait, what? We missed it? No, that was the first band. Really?
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
You got some nice people running that place.
Yeah. So then they come out, they make this little announcement. The teacher talks about how great the kids are, blah, 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 blah. They play 2 songs, we're done. Curtain closes again. They say, please hustle out because we got another group coming in. Like, wow. These people have it down.
Yes.
These people have it down.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah. All right. And speaking of your kids, here's what they're listening to now. This is the new #1 song in the nation.
Is it really?
It just replaced Adele at #1. Here's the song, whether you know it or not.
Oh, no.
They're probably not doing it in front of you. But here's the song by an artist named Gail.
Gail, okay.
Just one name, Gail, and the #1 song in the country. ABCDEFU.
I got you. I was into you, but I'm over it now. I was trying to be nice, nothing's getting through. Let me spell it out. ABCDEFU, and your mom,
And your mom, and your sister, and your job, and your broke ass car.
What you card?
You and your friends that I'll never see again. Everybody but your dog, you can all off.
Okay, that's adequate, probably right there, actually. But that's the new #1 song in the land. ABCDEFU.
But she's doing the alphabet wrong.
Yeah, she is, because U doesn't follow F.
No.
It's FG. And then she missed a whole bunch of other letters in between.
Kids these days.
The G and the U.
They don't even know their alphabet.
They don't.
Man, that's what's wrong with it.
I mean, is that catchy? You bet.
Yeah.
You bet.
You know,
best breakup song of all time? Perhaps. But look where we're going as a society, though.
Oh, you didn't like that lyric? That was genius.
I mean, it is genius. And I hate that I think it's genius. It's not right. It's not right.
Well, a complete non sequitur here, I guess, is somebody asked on Twitter the other day, why do we say the alphabet in order? Like, you know, it's like, why do we have an order for the alphabet? I mean, obviously it's a song to teach kids, but just kind of arbitrary, right? You
Yeah.
don't have to say it in order.
Well, you want to know all your letters.
I guess, but then once you memorize them, you don't need to. I mean, look, didn't get her anywhere. She doesn't even know the order anymore.
She's got the #1 song in the land.
See, kids, you don't even have to learn the order of the alphabet, and you got the #1 song in the land regardless.
I mean, that's something else. I don't know where you're hearing that, except online.
Probably.
Are the radio stations play? You'd have to bleep that thing because she says the S word. She says the F word over and over and over and over and over again. How many times did you have to bleep that to play it on terrestrial radio?
I don't know.
A lot. You'd have to bleep that thing 50 times, I'll bet. 50 times in 2 minutes and 40 seconds, which is all the song is.
Somebody's got to get her in the studio to record a studio version of that. Oh, they did?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Yeah, you just found the unplugged version.
Okay.
MTV Unplugged.
Well, that's what happens when you don't reply to my emails.
Oh, I didn't reply to your email?
No. Said, is this it? Is this that catchy song you're hearing all the
well,
rage?
It is, but it's not the only version. She's got
that was the first one she did.
She's got
version of that.
A whole bunch of versions.
That's what got her discovered.
Bunch.
Oh, is there a dance mix version?
Probably.
Does that include the letter WXYZ somewhere?
No. It includes more F words, though. And so is Hilary Kennedy from the 4-Minute Buzz. Hillary's been keeping an eye on the big trial, the Jeffrey Epstein trial with Ghislaine Maxwell. And so has she been testifying?
She has not. So we've been hearing from all kinds of people, though, from different accusers, from the second chief pilot that Epstein had that flew most of his planes. We've heard from kind of the house manager. So we've heard from a lot of different people, not from her. But the trial is actually, it's not quite as explosive, I think, as people were expecting it to be. And they're saying it may be a lot shorter than they were expecting it to be, because initially they said 6 weeks. Now they're thinking it may be wrapped up by Christmas. So I don't know. But one of the interesting developments just within the past day, so there was a Twitter account that has been following the tracker trial. It's been providing all of these updates. Well, it was suspended yesterday from Twitter.
What?
It's not the Twitter user's first account using that ID. The account had actually only been active for 2 weeks. It had 525,000 followers when it was suspended. But it was created back in November of 2020, and Twitter sent them a message saying you may not use Twitter services in a manner intended to artificially amplify or suppress information or engage in behavior that manipulates or disrupts
I don't
people's
understand
experience.
that suspension at all.
It's unusual because they didn't even give them a chance to give a rebuttal and say, hey, wait, explain
But all it
why.
was just links to news stories about the trial. I was
just updates.
depending on those notifications.
But this account has been linked to more conservative-leaning Twitter accounts and sites, because it's not the only Twitter account that
First
it owns.
Amendment doesn't apply then.
But-
No, not to right-wing people. No.
But you can go to patriot1.substack.com, and that gives you all of those updates.
No,
That
same thing
Twitter
there?
account has
Okay.
been taken down. So, yeah, kind of interesting. And then some updates from the trial I thought were kind of shocking. One accuser says that she saw a photograph of Ghislaine Maxwell in Jeffrey Epstein's, because he had photos all over his properties, but they saw a photo of her very nude and very pregnant, and she's not known to have had any children. So that was kind of an interesting bombshell.
Whoa.
And also she said she
They
saw
don't
a
know
photograph.
whose baby it was?
No, but there was another photograph of Jeffrey Epstein holding Ghislaine Maxwell's stomach as if maybe she was pregnant in that photo. So
And
we
there
don't
was
know.
his? Are they speculating, obviously, that it's his?
Because her defense is trying to say that he was this monster and an abuser, and she was also kind of under duress working for him. But there are in that treasure trove, there's like over 20,000 photos, and she's in a lot of them where they're hugging and kissing, and they look very coupley.
Oh, yeah, here they do, for sure.
Oh, there's one picture you sent.
And here.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
also some
the foot massage one.
Yes.
It's just don't
That's
touch
gross.
Don't touch my feet.
Some other photos came out also of her giving Jeffrey Epstein a foot massage
there's
on one of his
right there.
planes. A very suggestive photo.
But they're friends, right?
Yeah, they're
Right.
friends.
They're trying to portray that she was under duress working for him, but this is obviously a very playful, somewhat sexual photo. So I think they're having a hard time painting this as if they weren't involved romantically in some way.
She's going away.
But I will say what the defense is doing a great job of is character assassination on the accusers. Two of them are really only fitting the profile of being very underage when this happened. And they aren't referring to them as children. They're saying the young girls, because they really want to paint the picture that these girls knew exactly what they were doing. They were doing it for the money.
Yeah, but they were too young, right? They were 15 or 14, or they weren't of age to make those decisions.
Correct. Some of them were, there are two that are accusers that were around the 17, 18-year-old mark, and they're really trying to discredit them. One of the accusers has schizophrenia. Almost all of them have had some sort of drug problem in the past. So they're really trying to paint these accusers as unreliable, and also there for the money grab, because many of them have already been paid out hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions of dollars, from the Epstein fund.
To keep quiet.
If you're in court for something like this, are you able to make the case that, they suffer from these conditions because of what they went through?
Right.
Does that apply?
That's what they got to pay out from the Epstein estate because of what they went through. And so the court is saying now you're just trying to sort of capitalize even further, get more money. So it's been tough to read all of the updates of what they're doing with the accusers, because they're really painting them in a bad light. So rather than making it seem as if she wasn't involved, that Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't involved, they're really trying to make it seem like these girls knew exactly what they were doing and focus their energy in that direction.
And they're trying to make her out to be a victim.
Correct.
Ghislaine.
And they're also releasing some more names from the little black book that they found. There were 2 black books, actually, that they found.
That's
in
what
Jeffrey
everybody's
Epstein's
hoping
house.
for, right?
Right.
Let's find out who was really involved.
Yeah, now if that trial tracker wants to get their account back, they just need to post something about Trump being brought up.
Well,
yeah.
That's what's so interesting is there are a lot of names, but we keep hearing things about Trump, which, by the way, you mentioned that the Twitter account, the trial tracker that got shut down, Twitter's saying you're amplifying certain things and it's harmful. Well, what about those Twitter accounts during the election that were outing all of the Trump donors and putting their addresses and phone numbers out there to the public? That went on for months and nothing was done. But so the 2 names that came out this week that were verified by the other chief pilot, whose name was Rogers, Glenn Dubin is a billionaire hedge fund manager. So he and his wife flew on Epstein's planes multiple times, and she actually dated Epstein for about 11 years before marrying this billionaire hedge fund manager. Awkward. So very interesting that they continued to spend time with him. They brought their daughters around, went on vacations with him. And then the other name that came out was Marvin Minsky, who was an MIT professor, but he passed away in 2016. But a lot of speculation about his
I saw George
as well.
Clooney's name mentioned too, man. This is just crazy
I saw
stuff.
Alec Baldwin. I mean, there are a lot of names. Barack Obama. I saw a lot of names that were
Barack Obama's
tied.
in it?
But again, a lot of speculation. So many things are redacted, and the flight logs are so heavily redacted that
So we don't know where he went on the plane? Obama?
Well,
do we know he went to the island, or where did he go?
Like, was it a flight to something else?
I think his name was just circulated as being a possible contact, but I haven't seen any hard evidence that he was involved. But so many of those people did rub elbows with him at these charity events in New York, and he was at the White House multiple times. So
yes, 17 times during the Clinton years.
Yeah, there's a timeline,
right? Including 3
Clinton,
times.
That was Clinton.
Clinton. In one day, 3 times in one day, and I think 17 in a year or something. It was a lot of times.
Well, there were several times he was there too when President Clinton wasn't actually there as well. So I don't know who he was meeting with or what he was doing when Clinton wasn't there.
Meeting
but
with
he was
Hilary,
also,
perhaps.
Maybe so.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So what's it looking like for
where's this going?
Ghislaine?
I will be surprised if she gets a lot of time for this. Just the way it's been going with the accusers, it really has not been going as well as I think people had hoped. And we aren't finding out as much information as we had hoped for either.
Yeah, that's what that's what I was looking forward to, was the black book filled with names of people we've heard of.
Yes.
The Prince Phillips and Bill Clinton. Prince Edward.
You know what, Hilary?
Phillips,
You're going to come in here. It's scheduled for a week from today, next Thursday. If you don't have at least, 5 A-list celebrities from the crowd,
I need to get the goods.
Don't bother.
More names. Well, they are kind of working their way. This black book that they had, there was also a manual that she used to sort of run the household. She was known as the lady of the house to all the people that worked for Epstein. And in this manual, it basically said, you see nothing, you hear nothing, you don't ask any questions unless someone asks a question of you, you can answer. So there were very specific things, and everyone was very tight-lipped. And even now, people on the stand seem reluctant to give up the goods on the specific names.
Wasn't there a thing where you can't even look at?
Yeah, don't look at him in the eyes. Don't look at his eyes at all. Look, if he asks you something, you were supposed to look off into a different part of the room. That's just creepy and weird.
It's very, very demeaning.
Just
but,
weird.
Yeah, but we do know he liked 3 massages at least a day. So we're finding out little tidbits like that. So,
he was also like 3 other things a day. I was reading in one of the articles, not just massages, but he went a little further than that. Is that been part of the testimony, or?
It has been. He liked to receive his massages many times with young girls or children, as it were, wearing schoolgirl uniforms. He liked that. There's a picture of his massage room that we have where you can just see the walls lined with massage oils and lotions, and so he was a very avid fan of massages, apparently. And they even put out we were putting out an ad. They found a flyer that they believe Ghislaine Maxwell had typed up that was like, looking for a massage therapist for Palm Beach. Excellent pay. I'm sure it was.
All right. All right, well, it's fascinating. Any indication when it's going to wrap up? You said it's going to be maybe shorter than everybody anticipated.
I think so. They think it may wrap up before Christmas. Some people even said maybe by the middle or end of next week. So I don't know, but I think it may not go on as long as we thought.
All right, we'll check back with you. Thanks, Hilary.
A-list celebrities, remember.
And watch for her on the 4-Minute Buzz coming up in about 14 minutes. All right, got to tell you about Omega XL. You have 360 joints from your neck down each vertebrae in your back to your arms, your hips, your knees, your feet. And that means you've got 360 different joints that can take a real beating with daily activity and, of course, aging. And once you start that process and you're doing both, you're getting the daily beating and the aging, then it's really fun. Then that's when you need the Omega XL. When this stuff builds up in your system, like it built up in mine after about a week, I was feeling relief. And then after 2 weeks, my pain was gone. Same thing could happen for you. Give it a try. See if it works for you. If maybe you've tried everything, this can be life-changing. Get your life back with Omega XL. When you go to omegaxl.com/Pat, when you buy your first bottle, they'll throw in a second one for free at omegaxl.com/Pat or call 800-844-4888.
My mouth's bleeding, Bert! My mouth's bleeding! Voodoo petals! Voodoo... There they are! Bert! What do you know about that? Merry Christmas!
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Merry Christmas. All right.
You watched it yet?
No.
Patrick.
Still have not.
Still
have not. Well, next week is our last week of the year.
Yeah.
And then we go into a best of situation for 2 weeks.
2 weeks of best of.
We'll see you back at the first of the year. So sometime next week, sometime when I'm on vacation, I think I'm just going to relax and watch It's a Wonderful Life and Elf, Scrooge, all of those things.
Good.
What's your favorite? What's your go-to Christmas movie?
Die Hard.
Is that true? It really is.
I posted About a Boy is in that same category. I would recommend.
Is that a Christmas movie?
No, it's set at Christmas time. I say it's a Christmas movie.
All right.
I mean, set at Christmas time. It's part of the. Sure. But if I had to pick, a traditional one, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of those. I love Elf.
Yeah, Elf is great.
And when the kids got to that age where they could enjoy it too, that made it even better.
Yeah.
So I would just have to say Elf. And plus Bob Newhart, I just adore.
He's awesome.
So
he's really awesome. All right, 888-900-3393. Yesterday we talked about the civil asset forfeiture situation that happened here in Dallas. When this is going on, even in Texas, it's a problem. I mean, supposedly we still respect freedom and the Constitution in Texas. But this thing with the civil asset forfeiture is so unconstitutional, so blatantly and clearly wrong. I don't know how it keeps happening. And the article was written as if it was either...
Let's celebrate.
Or, yes, a celebratory incident or just an example of a really cute dog doing a really good job for the police force.
Woof, woof.
There's that cute dog. There he is right now. Look at him standing there by all the money. He's standing there with $106,000 that he hit on at the airport. And so they took it.
No.
Yeah. And I love the headline. More than $100,000 seized after canine officer at Dallas Love Field Airport sniffs out a bag.
Don't sniff them.
I just I hate this stuff, man. I hate it.
I just don't get it. I really don't understand. They're fine with what transpired here.
So
in fact, they're happy about it.
We got to find out what happens. Like, what's next?
Yeah. Yes. How does this woman? We got to get a hold of her if we can.
I haven't seen her name anywhere.
Find this person.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be in a.
But yeah, it's not in the story.
But so yeah,
But again, there is no law against carrying large amounts of cash on you. Whether it's in your car or you're on a plane or a train or anywhere else, there's no law against carrying cash with you. Now, you would think there would be based on what's been happening lately.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the dog hit on a bag with a lot of cash in it. And So?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we took it. What do you mean you took it? What did you charge her with? Was there evidence? Was there a dead body near the bag?
No.
Did she have white powder under her nose? Was she doing coke as she was leaving the airport? What? No, none of that was going on. In fact, not only was she not charged, there's no allegation here that she was doing anything wrong.
Yeah, you ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of important in this particular case. I mean, and they'll tell you it's to fight a serious drug problem. I'm sorry, there's no problem worth destroying our constitutional rights over. And besides, this isn't solving anything. Is this cutting into the drug war, into the drug cartels at all? Not at all. This is not doing anything. Well, yeah, but Pat, why was she carrying $106,000 in cash on her?
Yeah,
that's pretty suspicious. Couldn't she just use an ATM? Well, no, you have daily limits of about $500 on those usually, but
it's for your own good. I mean, look, we don't want you to risk running into the hoodlums that attacked Jussie Smollett.
Well, that's true.
Right?
Yeah,
it could get ugly.
You'd have more than a Subway sandwich they could steal.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Yeah.
So we're just protecting you.
But seriously, it's nobody's business why she was carrying $106,000 on her. It's nobody's. So what? I don't know what she was going to do with it. It's none of my business.
Yeah.
Unless she stole it from me, but she didn't. So.
And let's say that she did some criminal activity to get that money. Mm-hmm. I would much rather that woman get away with whatever she did than to suspend constitutional rights.
Right.
That's worth more to me than that.
Yeah.
But Joe Biden's been all about the civil asset forfeiture.
Well, he spoke about it back in the day.
Yeah.
When he still had his brain with him. He doesn't anymore, but he used to love civil asset forfeiture.
Yeah,
probably still does.
Right. So, like in 1982, he was leading the charge in the U.S. Senate, talking about how I'll keep the liberals off this bill. He was talking to Strom Thurmond about you keep the right-wingers off this bill, and we'll take care of this civil asset forfeiture. And it kept going. I mean, the guy has always been on this side of civil asset forfeiture to the point where he was mocking George H.W. Bush for being soft on crime while he was still out promoting civil asset forfeiture in 1992. Watch this.
Severe penalties. We changed the law so that if you are arrested and you are a drug dealer, under our forfeiture statutes, the government can take everything you own.
Pause it.
Everything from...
Did you catch that? If you're arrested, the government can take everything you own. I'm sorry, that's not right either.
You skipped a step.
Yeah. Okay, you've been arrested. That's okay. You're halfway there. Now you've been convicted. Okay, well then I can understand.
No. He didn't mean that.
But that's not what he meant.
No.
But just being arrested is not grounds to take everything someone owns. And now it's gotten to the point where they're not even arrested. In fact, they're not even charged.
Thank you. It is devolving even from this clip.
I mean, the next step is you're not even traveling with it. They just go to your bank and take it from you because they need it.
Safe deposit box,
we need
LA, right?
They did it there. That's right. It's already happened.
Any of this ringing a bell?
Oh my gosh. The FBI has already done this.
Defund the FBI.
When they took $83 million from people in Los Angeles at the safety deposit boxes. Oh my gosh.
It's not good.
No, that's kind of an understatement. But here he is back in 1992.
Under our forfeiture statutes, the government can take everything you own. Everything from your car to your house, your bank account, not merely what they confiscate in terms of the dollars from the transaction that you just got caught engaging in. They can take everything.
Oh, good.
We have laws in the last several years where we don't allow judges discretion to sentence people.
Right.
Flat time sentencing. You get caught, you go to jail. Well, all of these tools have been at the president's disposal for the last 100 weeks. and more. Now, if America's crime problem is worse than it ever was, it's not because the Congress has failed to give the president the tools. It's done its part, but rather because the administration has failed to use the power given to it by the Congress over the last 5 years, and in particular the last 100 weeks, to bring this epidemic under control.
A couple of things there. Wow, he was a different person. Jeez. Okay, so 30 years ago, he still had his wits about him, and he could actually speak, which is nice. Now, the things he was saying were still stupid and unconstitutional.
He was saying them faster.
But he was saying them better. Yeah.
More coherent.
At least he didn't sound like this back then. So, that is amazing stuff. He's proud of the fact that if they were arrested, they could take everything you own. Your home, your cars, everything in your bank account. They just take it all. And George H.W. Bush was not using that enough. Wow. Now, I'm not a gigantic H.W. fan, but good for him for not using that ability, that power, that unconstitutional power of just because someone's been arrested, you can take all their belongings. I'm sorry, no. And now it's even worse than that. They'll do it when you've just been pulled over for no apparent reason. They haven't even charged you with anything. Because a dog said, hey, there's something in this bag. I don't know what, but something. It smells like something. It smells like something I should be jumping on right now. It smells like something. I don't know what it is, but it smells like something.
So, hold on a second. We live in a country where you don't have to be convicted to have all of your possessions taken from you.
No, a dog just has to tell police, hey, there's something.
But now what if I want to steal something in California, for example, that costs less than $950?
Oh, yeah, you can just go ahead and do that, too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. We won't arrest you for that.
You know, this isn't just happening in California, though. It's happening in places like Chicago, Illinois, and, Mayor Lightfoot has a message for the bad guys. You think she's got a message for the bad guys, Pat?
Oh, you know she does.
Yeah. Or is it...
Some of the retailers downtown in Michigan Avenue...
Oh, wait, it's for the store owners.
For the retailers.
I'm disappointed that they're not doing more to take safety and make it a priority. For example...
Why are the retailers in downtown Chicago not policing better? Why isn't Nordstrom in Chicago doing a better job of rounding up criminals?
Yeah, so listen to her message for the retailers.
Some of the retailers downtown in Michigan Avenue, I will tell you, I'm disappointed that they're not doing more to take safety and make it a priority. For example, we still have retailers that won't institute plans like having security officers in their stores, locking up their merchandise at night, chaining high-end bags. These purses seem to be something that is attracting a lot of attention on these organized retail theft units.
Wow. So it's the retailers' fault.
Yeah, for having such nice products that people are attracted to, and they come and steal them. It's their fault, man.
I can't believe it. What a world we live in. It is completely upside down. Oh, man. All right, we will end the week together, and Jeffy will join us to do that tomorrow. Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.